Right, another technical problem just then with the YouTube stream. It just did going live indefinitely for like 3 minutes, and I had to F5 the page, reload it, and it seems to be working now. Cool. Yeah, so I've got a mask on which, as you can see, does not fit me at all. It's the PDF Model 2, the sort of last Soviet children's mask, so you can see the size of my head compared to the size of the mask. It's pretty funny looking. So I did a video on this today, but obviously as it doesn't fit me, I can't talk about it all that much. But inside it's a lot like a GP7. But obviously outside it's not really like a GP7. One of the names for this is apparently the GP7SH. But it's obviously its proper name, I'd imagine, is the PDF2SH. But so yeah, I cleaned it up earlier. But it can make an airtight seal on me, but I can't see out of it properly because obviously it's way smaller than my head. Alright, so if you didn't see the announcement earlier, annoyingly my PC isn't going to come now till the middle of next week. Because, not next week, sorry, next month. Because the AMD chips are just ridiculously sold out at the moment. The default mag, it takes, I think, 16 rounds in a mag, because how it works, it's got, I'll show you. Right, so here's the default mag for it. You've got like an 8-shot kind of like revolver cylinder at the top and an 8-shot one at the bottom. So you load the BBs or pellets into there. So you get 8 shots, you eject it, you stick it back round the other way, put it back in, you get 8 more shots. I'm good, thank you, Central Florida Prepper. How are you? Is what allowed, son boy? But I get all the masks on eBay, as most people know. There's a couple of masks I've got from surplus kind of shops, but they're few and far between. Yeah, it's a cool looking mask. If you're wondering why the front of the mask looks so clean and new compared to the back straps with loads of talc and dirt on them, it's because I wash the mask in the sink and then I use a load of silicone lubricant to polish up the front of the mask. So it's kind of got that shiny, reflective, brand new look to it now. But I didn't bother doing the back straps. But as I said, the mask doesn't fit me anyway, but it might look good on display somewhere. I might put that up with the other Soviet things maybe left of the GP5. What do you reckon? I reckon if it was sort of there on the wall, that might look quite good. Yeah, thank you. Like the stream, everybody. It does help me out. Yeah, pretty much, General. That's how the helmet masks work. It's essentially elasticated hood, so if you can't make it smaller or larger. I mean, in theory, you could stretch it, and as the rubber gives out a bit, it would get larger. Yeah, I'll probably look into doing that tomorrow. It's meant to be like a rainy thunderstorm day all day tomorrow, so I probably won't get a chance to go out and do anything fun. So yeah, probably put that mask up, probably put that Death to Western Spies sign up properly using the drill. All right, see you, Maxie, when you're off. So yeah, you made a start on the slingshot then, Mike, so I assume that's why you wanted the design for it. Also, don't forget to get your merch, everybody. I've got the mug out with coffee in it, or it's decaf, though, in this video, so I can actually have something. Also, if anybody sees any smoke in the room, I don't know if the webcam will pick it up. Don't worry, there's nothing on fire. I've got some incense lit, because I lit some incense yesterday, and it was really nice smelling incense, so I thought I'd put some more on today. So yeah, it's going to be probably about the 16th of August or later I get my new PC, but they've apologised again. They said they fast-tracked it. So as soon as, they get the CPU, the PC is just literally getting built and sent to me the next day. So that would be good. It's just annoying, but I was reading that literally the Ryzen 9 3900Xs are sold out everywhere. And it's got to the stage now where people who have got the CPUs are selling them on eBay for like over $1,000 each. So that gives you some idea of the current supply compared to demand for the CPUs. About 130 to 150 region, I would imagine, Mowad, but I really don't know. That's fine, Mike. As I said, I'm not too worried about when you get it done. Do it when it's most convenient for you, because, as I said, just if you get that done, and what was the other thing you were going to do me a Warhammer, wasn't it? Then I can buy them both from you at the same time or whatever. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Usama. Do you mean like filters that do different things, or different size filters? There's like 60 to 40mm adapters if you wanted to put a 60mm, like 40mm filters on a 60mm mask. I'm right, Timothy, thank you. You have to be a Patreon to get a Discord link. Only if I had to wear a mask in public. I wouldn't wear it for the fun of one in public. It's a bit dodgy doing that, isn't it? Alright, cheers, Laser Point. Good to see you on. I don't know, you would have missed this, wouldn't you, at the start of the stream when I had it on, it didn't fit. But yeah, there's the PDF 2 mask, SH. Annoyingly in size 1, which is one size from the smallest. It actually fits me enough that it does an airtight seal, but not obviously that I'd ever want to wear it. Also, if you see dripping coming out the bottom, that's just water from obviously where I washed it earlier. I'll show it you again because you've given me a donation. I'll put the mask back on for you. But as I said, it's not going to be any good for actual practical purposes. But I suppose the weird thing of this, I didn't realise it's got straps similar to some of the French masks, which is actually better for me. But I don't even need to do those bottom straps off because of how tight it is anyway. But now pull the bottom bit down. There we go, that's my chin into it. As you can see, pretty much pressurising. If I got that even further in, pressurises a bit better. Yeah, it's not exactly comfortable. As you can see, a lot smaller than my actual head. It fogs up very quickly because, like the GP7 and PMKs, there's no oral nasal cup. So basically, when you're looking through it, it just starts fogging up instantly. And again, you could put an anti-fog stick in it or something, but for me, there's no point because I'm not going to seriously ever wear this mask. But yeah, it'll look good on the wall at least, as we were saying. Just top left of the GP7 between the gas mask, not GP7, between the gas mask sign and the GP5. But it would be practical if it was the right size for you. I mean, again, because the PDF masks, because there's obviously like one there, aren't as well made as the things like GP5s. It's still going to fog up and everything, but I'd say it's a slight improvement over the previous generation of PDFs. But it's nothing to write home about. You know, the Israeli children's masks, which are the smaller 4A1s, would be miles better. The mask, most of the masks that you see pictured in Chernobyl were PDFs, the children's masks, and GP5s, because they would have been the ones that would have been in storage that looters broke into. Oh, just now I put a PDF2 on, yeah. PDF2SH is the name of that mask, apparently. So yeah, if anybody's wondering why the room's looking smoky behind me, you can just probably see very faintly some smoke wafting its incense. But just to demonstrate that I am actually again, something's probably bad for your lungs, but I don't give a shit. And if anybody was actually wondering as well which type of sticks were in there, It's these. Super Hit. Satcher Super Hit. They were in that big selection box I had of incensers. And that champ ones I used up pretty much straight away because they were really smelly and nice. But alright, cool. I'll be on Twitch tonight then, Mike, when you're doing that. What's a dual hit? Is that like weed, or is that just like a vape thing? But sure, go ahead. It's your body, your choice. I've got both the M10 and the M10M. I was actually wearing the M10M in yesterday's stream. Alright, cool. Hit the vape then. Why not? What things do you mean in the metal round container? Or do you mean metal round container? Where are you looking? Yeah, I swear when I feel like swearing. I don't swear all the time. Compared to some people, I barely swear, but I will drop an F-bomb every now and then. But it's normally tactical, sort of high accuracy F-bombs. So, you know, when I deliver them, they decimate the target. But there's your answer. Do I swear? Yes, I do. Oh, the GP5 tins. Yeah, I can actually show you what's in those because I've got one in this drawer. Oh, like that bit in Legend where he says, "Don't you fucking swear in this establishment," or whatever it is. It's quite funny. He's like, "Watch your fucking language," or whatever it is, when he's saying, you know, there's families around. French M51s look pretty creepy. Like, I'm gonna have to use a knife to prise this lid off because it does the thing where it seals too well, and I don't want to rip my nails out because I've really hurt under my nails before trying to do this. But there we go. So, right, what you get in these is, I've not got many full ones left in this one, but they're anti-fog inserts. So, basically, bits of celluloid like this. And that goes inside the lens of a GP5 or whatever. So, I don't imagine that they're not going to fit this mask. I imagine it's going to need much smaller ones for this one. Or you could cut these to size, but yeah, these would in theory work. But yeah, what these do is they basically just go on the inside bits of masks. These were the ones that I had to put in the PTM1 because the PTM1s just use the celluloid for the eyepieces. But yeah, you essentially cut the celluloid to size and then it just goes in the mask. But sometimes these are really aged and dried out and useless. But other times, you know, you'll get one and there's a tin and they're quite fresh and still work. But anti-dim paste is superior in my opinion because you just kind of paint it on the inside of the lens rather than having to cut something to size and then mess about with all that. Replica M15, what do you mean an Israeli M15? I wasn't aware there were any replica ones. I don't know, I'm not going to get into politics discussions of speculating about civil wars, to be honest. Yeah, the incense I had last night that smelled quite nice was called, I think it was Golden Year. It was another one of those Satcher ones, but there was like a sample pack in one of my other incense ones with 2 sticks, so I thought I'd burn them just before I went to bed. Obviously, I didn't leave it burning when I went to sleep, but sort of burn it just before I went to bed, and that was really pleasant smelling. Because I collect them. People who collect stamps have lots of stamps. People who collect coins have lots of coins. I collect gas masks, so I have a lot of gas masks. I don't actually know what mask that is. I know which one the PMK is, and that's pretty crap. But what's the PKK gas mask? Let me search it. No results coming up for that, so I'm assuming you're going to mean PMK. Yeah, PMK is shit, in my opinion. The later PMKs are right, but the early PMKs, which are like the GP7 over there, are pretty crap. Yeah, all right. Saying the annoying thing is I found out I'm going to have to wait another month for my PC that was meant to be dispatched today just because of how short the supply is on the Ryzen 9s. I can't get a law rocket launcher, can I, legally in the UK? You can't even get that in most American states. My number one favourite gas mask is the Avon CT12. But I'm going to probably film a video, because I ended up doing a video on that PDF today. But I'm going to probably do a video on the my favourite current masks tomorrow, because that was the one I was going to do today. But I'll probably do that tomorrow, and that will include CT12 definitely, probably Fushida F2, the Spaziani TR2002, whatever it's called, CR2002, can't remember its exact name now, and probably the Scott M98. Yeah, I read people's questions as long as I spot them. K. Baldwin. I reckon what you could do, Rich, this might work. Again, it'd be bulkier than the cheek filter mask, would make it unnecessarily bulky. But what you could do, I reckon, like these sort of 3M filters would fit in the cheek filter cavity fine. So you'd put that bit pushing through and then that in the cavity. So obviously, like, that bit of the writing is facing the outside of the mask. And I reckon that would actually work fine in a cheek filter mask. But as I said, there's like almost no point in doing that, because you can wear them on little half-face masks like this or whatever. But no, I've not got a World War II SS helmet. Things like Half-Life, Half-Life 2. The one I got from was Lithuania, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, I can't remember. I think it was from the guy who's actually based in Lithuania, but he has some for sale from UK stock now. I'm kind of tempted to say Lithuania, because whenever I've bought packages from Estonia, Lithuania, you know, and things, the Baltic states, they've always come no problem. Whereas with the UK customs, you never know. They're like, oh, why is somebody sending a gas mask out of the UK, even though we don't have rules on it like America? From what I understand, more modern PMKs are a lot better, but Russia, I think, should have just done a generic 40mm mask like everybody else did at that point. Alright, let me have a look, Gadget. That's cool. Because I know some people have got some recently, but I'd never seen any at all until like recently. And that was like not ones I bought, but yeah. So World War II German gas mask. Because they're quite fascinating, aren't they? Because they're made out of like that really cheap material. There's a VM40 there for £80. A GM38 for £15, but that's on bid. A ripped VM40 for 99p on the bid. Some completely desiccated German World War II masks for a lot of money. And I can't see any turning up on UK eBay. There are some Volks masks or Volks masks, or whatever you want to call them, for decent prices. I generally quite like horror movies. I'm just going to test if this mask's filters are working. I'm sure it will be, and just see if I can't smell the incense. Yeah, it's definitely working quite well. Yeah, I imagine some of the particulates will even get through a P3 filter of that. Because people generally want to buy from eBay sellers that are local to them, so they're not going to have to wait ages for something to come and have to put up with more like postage prices and customs laws and all that. Yeah, of course I've watched Jaws, it's a classic. Why would I be going to Area 51? I don't even live in America. And no, it's a stupid idea to turn up at a military facility trying to raid it and you're getting shot. You have to specify which pictures. Do you mean the Stalker Call of Pripyat postcards? The big Soviet civil defense poster? The other kind of posters I've printed off? Alright, thanks for trying to donate anyway, but don't worry about it. Well, smell can get stuck in any mask. $9 isn't loads of money for a GP5. Again, if it was a damaged GP5, that sucks because there's perfectly good condition ones, but $9 isn't a lot for a GP5. World War One. To be honest, I don't really know. For practicality, probably British uniforms, just because they were like the khaki colour, where obviously they didn't show up in the mud. World War II, German uniforms, even though they were bastards. Yeah, comfortable enough. Why? It's a pretty old one, to be honest. If I really wanted to get a better one, I'd get one with new, like, what the wooden thing's called under them. Struts, something like that. But mattress isn't too old, but that's weird. Even don't know why. 130 odd, I'd say, Gadget. I really don't know. What's the coolest masks you've got then? If you've got 74, you must have some quite interesting ones. No, never heard of that type of music, Jack. eBay, like where I get everything. Just search Soviet civil defense poster and you'll find loads like that. Well, better not implicate us, Mike. We might get arrested. Mine's an old wood one, Daniel. Yeah, if I didn't enjoy doing the videos, I wouldn't make them, would I? So yeah, I do enjoy doing gas mask videos. That's cool, but is that one of those things where the police can arrest you for it, like a pirate radio kind of thing? Because I think in some countries in the UK you can actually get a fine, potentially, if you do kind of radio stuff like that. That's very cool, Gadget. But yeah, because I know you can just literally cheaply buy FM transmitters, can't you, which are very cheap, but if you actually end up transmitting music and stuff on them, you can get properly done. That was asked like a minute ago, CBRN Crusader, and I've not bought any more since, but I guess 130 plus? I like I said, I've totally lost count at this point. Yeah, you need a license for that radio. Yeah, I find other military kind of stuff interesting, but as I said before, gas masks are actually pretty cheap. Least favourite Soviet gas mask, maybe the GP7. I mean, the GP7 looks cool, but it's a bit crap. Well, as I said, I used to have a text file where I could keep track of all of them, but then when Windows 10 dirt my PC last year, I lost the file and I had to reinstall Windows 7, and I've just not bothered remaking the file. Yeah, thank you, Lovro. What am I at now? Let's have a look on Social Blade. $59 and $25. So yeah, that's not too bad. Literally no difference other than the colour of the rubber. Some people reckon the black ones are more durable, but I don't know if there's actually any truth to that. I mean, they probably won't get UV damaged as easily. Yeah, Shums, because that's also my favourite Soviet mask, full stop. Oh, I like the look of the CT-12, and it's also my favourite mask, so there you go. Yeah, I've got a PPM88 rod. GP9 is like the more modern name for it, but yeah, PPM88, GP9, I've got a PPM88, but mine's broken. What do I think of Call of Duty? So I have to thank it, do I? If you mean think, some of the earlier ones are good, some of the recent ones have been shit. Not the sort of games I'd choose to play anymore. I'd probably still happily play through Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original. But, that's cool, K Baldwin. Glad you enjoy the videos anyway. When I got mine, it was like 30 odd pounds, but yeah, they're generally quite expensive because they're like the rarer version of the FM12. But I was just lucky when I got it. I can't remember if it was either one I bid on or not many people bid on it a few years ago. It was either that or it was just somebody had it on like a buy it now for 30 something quid. I've already got one. Murilo, whatever your name's pronounced. I've got an Oculus Rift and I barely use it. Alright, see ya, Killshot. If you're back before I'm gone, see you then. Never heard of it. Doesn't sound like the sort of game I'd play. No, GP5 is the world's most mass-produced mask, so I wouldn't be surprised if you could get one very cheap at all. Just don't use the green filter. Yes, Timothy, I've done one, and I also did a sequel to that. That was a very popular video, even though it wouldn't be like a regular sort of video I make. Could definitely do a regular theme stream. I said I can't really do any more video game streams at the moment until I get the new PC, which is going to be like a month away now. So yeah, let's have a think. I wouldn't mind doing another spooky one or like mystery stream, conspiracy kind of theme stream. My day's been alright, but like I said, the annoying thing is I found out it's still going to be another couple of weeks before I get my new PC, so that's annoying. I've only played 2033 and Last Light. I've not read the books at all. And I said I don't like the style the games are in. I don't think they're bad games, it's just they're not really my thing. Alright, thank you, Shadow. Suddenly nobody chatting about anything. Yeah, there you go. Doesn't really fit me though. Yeah, it's an interesting enough mask. Basically just a GP7 on the inside. without the voice diaphragm. Outside, it's not really a GP7, it's just still a PDF, just made slightly differently. Oh, thank you very much, Killstrike Gaming, I appreciate that. Yeah, and as Mike says, don't forget to like the stream when not chatting. But yeah, thanks for all the donations recently. Obviously, I bought this mask with donations. As soon as I get into the start of next month, I'm going to cash out my Patreon donations, because I think I'll have 2 months' worth at that point. And then I can look into buying something really interesting again. I don't know if I've played the Path and Neo one that's on PS2. I've played that one that most people didn't like, and I can't remember what it's called. Right, just give me a second, Gunsman. What I'll do is I'll finish my coffee, and then I'll put it on in a second. I'm going to use the Red Rider, Richard, but again, I'm going to have to try and film that when my neighbour's on holiday, and I don't know yet when he's going away. But I think we've got quite a long time to submit the videos, haven't we, Mike? So I'll let you know when I know it's going to be, sort of thing. Well, I know how to do it, Gadget, because I've shown people the pictures before on how to do it, but I'm not really going to bother with mine because I've got plenty of better 40mm masks. But combination shadow. All right, cheers, K. Baldwin, but don't worry about it. Well, not entirely, Daniel, but the thing is, if somebody's out in their garden enjoying the sun or whatever, you don't want to go out there and just start loudly shooting something in the next door garden, sort of thing. You know, and also risk ricochets and things like that. So generally, when I try and do shooting stuff, I always try and do it when neighbours aren't around. Current favourite lighter, probably still my Imco mic, to be honest. I've got a couple of axes, but I don't really collect them. As in, like, one kind of military war axe style one, and then the others are just sort of like camp axe kind of ones. Yeah, that must be lovely, Ghost Jesus. I mean, I know some people like it, but personally, I'd be happier if, you know, I never had to talk to anybody except my immediate family. Assume there's just people talking to each other in the chat at the moment. As I said, I'll put that mask on in a second for you. I'm just going to finish my coffee first so it doesn't go cold when I'm reading every message. So as I said, it's horribly too small for me, but here you go. Hello? 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 I have a small mouse. Too late, Mike. I've taken it off. I would have done it. Go gaga. But yeah, I've already taken the mask off. Yeah, it's because it's a size 1, size 1 Soviet children's mask. So, size 0 is the smallest, size 3 or 4 is the largest, and it's children's mask sizes. So as you can see, I've fully undone those straps pretty much at the top, and even so, it's still, you know, really tight on my head. But there you go. Well, the thing is, depends what sort of war you mean by World War III, doesn't it? If everybody gets totally wiped out by nuclear weapons, then there wouldn't be any mask that would save you. If it was like radioactive fallout, any full face mask and particulate filter would be fine. I mean, yeah, if you got a size 4 PDF, that would probably be equivalent size like 2 or 3 to a GP5, I imagine. Obviously, a size 1 PDF is pretty much smaller than the size 0 GP5. I guess countries just picked a sizing thing they liked and stuck with it. Yeah, exactly, Richard. It's not necessarily that people are going to completely object to it, is it? It's just you don't want to be irritating people. Yeah, exactly, Mike. It's that. If people are out in their garden doing something, you don't want to be a distraction, do you? And walking from one end of the garden with a gun to the other, going bang, 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 and then resetting a target, bang, bang, bang. Yeah, but I don't think I did a video on it, Rod. I bought the chainsaw mesh thing that Mike suggested and glued that on. That's interesting, Kay Baldwin. Yeah, that's because it's a children's mask. It's actually a more recent one, the ones featured in the poster. But, I mean, it's closest to that one there. The PDF there with the plastic valve on it. But, yeah, that particular model one isn't on there. Or the one at the bottom, left there. But I have night vision. But do you mean if I had like a really good FLIR night vision? Oh, I go out trying to spot interesting animals and stuff like that. Yeah, for the people that doubt me when they say, "Oh, have you got night vision?" The batteries aren't in it at the moment, but yeah, look, I've got night vision. That's an interesting gadget. I've definitely not seen any of those on there. Cool. Is that the infrared style one? Because my one's an infrared one. All right. I don't want to get too much into politics, but flat earthers are fine to believe whatever they want because they're not really hurting anybody, even if they're deluded. Anti-vax people, especially ones that push it on their kids, should basically, I think, not have that choice because it's obviously endangering their children's lives, not their own. Well, if it's a biological weapons attack that's just deployed as a particulate, the filter in theory wouldn't expire because the particulate filter would keep clogging until it was really hard to breathe through, but it wouldn't actually expire. That's cool. So you can dress up as a secret policeman then, Rufus. Yeah, I heard about that. I'd quite want to see it out of interest, but I imagine it will be delusional. Aren't they called something like the CVD Geiger counters or something like that? If you Google American Geiger counter civil defense, that's it. CDV 700. And then you want to get one with the actual Geiger tubes on it. Looks like the 720 has an actual alpha probe on the bottom of it. That's quite interesting. I don't know if these are in stock, but I don't think they are. Oh, yeah, item currently sold out. I was going to say Sportsman Guide had a load of them in. But yeah, if you search CDV 700 or whatever, you'll find what I'm on about. I don't have a PMK2, so I can't comment. No, I've already said before that katana's just a modern replica one made to traditional methods. So it's technically a proper katana, but it's not a historical one. Don't know which one you mean by that, K. Baldwin, but it sounds interesting. Do you mean the XM28 or the XM27? My incense looks like it's nearly burnt all the way down now. I don't know if you can see on the webcam, but the room's actually quite smoky now in a sense. Don't know if this will be visible, but this is quite interesting. If I get the torch, you have that fully zoomed out, you can actually generally see when there's loads of incense smoke in the sort of beam. I don't know if that's going to be really very visible on camera, but it's generally quite interesting. It would work quite well with a laser pen, actually. Wow, the XM28 isn't even stored in this room, so I don't know if I've even got any prototypes in this room. I don't think I have. No, it says nothing in this room, so nothing I can show on the stream. Yeah, my laser pen would be ideal, but I'm just sort of seeing if I turn that light off. Is there any way? Brightness is going on the torch a bit now. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just one of those interesting things that you can see when the room starts getting a bit smoky. I'd say just like a sack carrying bag, because although a tin in theory stops the mask getting damaged as easily, the tin weighs more and it clanks about. Alright, see you, Killstrike. What do you mean the old gas mask ads? Literally any mask would work. I mean, don't put a Soviet filter on them, but GP5, GP5Ms. GP5Ms at least have the voice diaphragm on, so you can hear people talk. So yeah, GP5M, let's say that because they're cheap and work. Well, I don't know what he means either, Rufus. That's why I'm asking him. Gas mask ads. Only advertisement I do for gas mask is these. On the mugs and the shirts. Buy them. There you go. Favourite civilian mask? The Finnish civilian mask, I'd say. The one from World War II, which was, I think, called the M39, but that's a really well-made mask, especially for when it came out. Yeah. The more merch people buy, completely right, Ghost Jesus, the more like masks I can buy to do videos on, because I can use the donations that I get from that to fund that. This flashlight the one I just showed now, it's a generic Chinese one. You can get these with all sorts of different brand names on them, but it's the one with the zoomable. See, this one they call the XML T6, I guess, but they have loads of names. But it's got a high, medium, low. Oh, it's not doing it in that order, but okay. So high, and now it's doing SOS. So that should be high now. Medium, low, should do strobe, yeah, and SOS. But yeah, they're very good for the cheap price, and these are ones you can put all sorts of different batteries in. Because I've got an 18650 in there, but you can put one really big battery in there, and I can't remember the name of it, but I don't have the charger for it, so I've never bothered buying those for it. You can have an 18650 battery down the very middle of the shaft, and it just uses one of these to keep it in the size. Or you can get one of those things that lets you put 3 AAA batteries in to sort of fit the size of the other battery. Yeah, for the very cheap price, you can sometimes get these. They're very good torches for like £6 or £7. They're generally under £10. The zoom on it's pretty good. When I've gone out walking at night, you can see probably 100 meters or so of that zoom. Again, if a company like Olight or Frulight, did a sort of zoomable torch with the same design as this, their one would definitely be a better build quality. But this is good enough, really. There you go. If people ask him what's that mask, I can go, what, that one? That one? I don't want to show it in my face. That's cool, Kay Baldwin. If you're asking me, Bartos, I'd say old leather durable shoes, because a lot of modern boots I've had have been complete crap and fallen apart really quickly. Well, when I've bought a lot of retro boots from army surplus stores, they've lasted ages. Thank you, General. I'm going to have to remind Bart again this week to draw some more, but he's been at a festival this weekend and sunburnt, so he probably won't be very happy when I go get the S10 one done. Favourite US gas mask? Probably the M40. Cheers. Oddrun, is that? Or Oddrun? Yeah, the Fowl's my favourite Diac, probably out of all the one I've got. No, I'm not part Russian. Yeah, I've still got both the police riot helmets, the Mark 1 and the Mark 3. The XM28 is the US cheek filter prototype mask after the M17 came out. Technically the XM28 E4, which is also known as the Grasshopper. It's that like really thin, lightweight particulate one. Can't really think of many more creepy masks I've not covered, but I could always do a video with a few extra creepy ones in. I mean, they're technically like videos that seem to attract the clickbait audience, so they're always good for me getting views. But no, I didn't stop 3 robberies in one night. What are you on about? Or are you talking to somebody else? No, you can't have all my stuff. No, I don't have. I think I've said before, but I don't know actually anybody near me that even does any of the historical reenacting stuff. No, you can go to IKEA and buy one. Well, yeah, if somebody was selling a US Mickey Mouse mask for $200, which would be like £150 or something, Yes, I would, because I could resell it for several £1,000s if I wanted to. Right, Scobby, you're making some very weird messages now. Do you want to make stuff that's on topic, or do you want a timeout? Oh, you've been completely got rid of. Okay, goodbye. Too bad for you. Should have stayed on topic. I have some Warhammer 40,000 things, but that was just something that, because it got too expensive and not enough people I knew ended up playing it, I just never carried on with. I think the XM28's got the XL valve there, hasn't it? Let me have a quick look at it. The XM28 E4. Yeah, the XL valve's at the bottom. Yeah. I had a decent amount of points of Orcs and Space Marines, but the most I had points-wise for an army was my Necrons, because you could always beat the Space Marine babbies. You know, the people who didn't play Space Marines properly but got Space Marines because they were in the starter kits with Necrons very easily. All right, cool, General. No, I'm not in the military. Never done any military service or anything like that. Unfit to do military service, so there you go. What? Well, depends what sort of games you want to run at what sort of resolutions, Matthew. But again, at the moment, because there's been such a shortage on the new AMD processors, but yeah, like I said, it really varies, because I'd say at the moment, wait until the Ryzen 3's demand from's gone away, so I'm still waiting for mine, and then they'll probably be quite well priced. That's cool, Bing. Sounds very interesting. Worst camouflage? Well, my least favourite one personally is US UCP. But I think some other really bad camos are like the naval camouflages that are blue, so if sailors fall overboard, they can't be fished out. So they die, which is why a lot of navies now give the soldiers like orange kind of stuff to wear. I mean, technically, there's some of those like really bright color camos, but I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for them, so I think they just kind of look stupid. But like not to the degree where they had all the problems of UCP. That they could probably find some theatres where they work. No, that's fine, Mike. If he was not chatting properly in the chat for a while, whatever his loss, maybe he can ask for an unban later on. But there's some right there. Look. That's not a middle finger, by the way. That's just my hand being like that. There's French riot vest there. I've got 2 riot helmets. Let me search that. The name sounds familiar. I've probably seen an image of it before, but I have seen that. Do you know why I've seen that? I can show you why I know that, Camo Bartos. I think the bag's in this room. Yes, it is. There you go. Let's put that other light back on. We don't have middle school in the UK. You go to primary school and then you go to secondary school. Yeah, my Polish MC1 is actually in that bag. I don't know. I've definitely seen worse camos than this, mate, because it's kind of like a grey-green colour with a disruptive pattern on, even if it's not very effective. There's definitely worse camos than this. I wouldn't say it's great, but I've definitely seen worse camos than that. That sounds good, General. Depends what you mean by an apocalypse, but if you mean the world ending all of a sudden, not in my lifetime, I don't think. Oh, sorry. Yeah, annoyingly, Lloyd, I'm not going to get the new PC till the middle of next month now at the earliest, because the supply is still not getting anywhere. Because everybody wants a Ryzen 3. The backlog for them is absolutely huge. And apparently it's gotten so bad that if you Google AMD sold out or something like that, you can find news articles where people on eBay are selling Ryzen 3, the 3900X processor I'm buying, for like over $1,000, and its RRP is $500. So it gives you an idea of what prices people are willing to pay to get them sort of as soon as possible. So yeah, I'll happily just wait till next month. As I said, it sucks, but what can I do? There's no point cancelling the order and then being even further back on the queue for one. Well, there's probably going to be more big wars. That wouldn't surprise me, but whether or not they're in my lifetime, I don't know. I think the most likely thing that will happen that will kill off lots of people is a big, like flu outbreak or something, like the 1918 flu, something like that again. But yeah, in terms of camos I've seen, this definitely isn't the worst one, because it's sort of a green and grey thing. Looks a bit like bark. I mean, at a distance, it's not going to be very disruptive, but I'd still rather wear this than UCP, and it looks like it adapts to the colour of the ambient light quite well, like Strictarm does. So, to that regard, it seems quite good. See, does it appear more orange if I put it here? Quite hard to see at that angle, but it looks like it's getting slightly more orange around that area. And then obviously, if you hold it up to light, it seems like it's going more yellow. So yeah, this doesn't seem to be the worst ever camo to me. No, wish I had a bunker. I don't have a bunker. That's phosgene gas. What is phosgene gas? An odorless, no, it's not technically odorless. A colourless, mostly odorless gas that sometimes smells apparently like hay or freshly mown grass. Destroys the lining of your lungs. Can poison you in very low quantities. It's very easy to accidentally get gas by phosgene using certain industrial chemicals if you don't prepare them correctly. But yeah, phosgene is something that's worth reading up about, just because, like Rich has said before, there's people that accidentally kill themselves by making phosgene quite often, because they'll do things like put brake fluid or something like that, or something that contains any number of chemicals that make phosgene if they get too hot, on something that they'll be doing welding work, or they'll put it just on a surface where it gets too hot. It makes phosgene gas and they're dead within seconds. And phosgene is also one of those things where even if you're exposed to it and you're rushed to hospital, there's generally not very much they can do for you. So, yeah, phosgene is something that's worth reading up on, just so you can actually avoid it in a sense. Yeah, I've not luckily had any accidents involving anything like phosgene, but I've worked with people that have made other chemicals by accident from doing dumb stuff. Like, not realizing that not everything has a boiling point of 100°C, and then putting random chemicals on a hot surface only for them to suddenly turn into horribly acidic or sort of nasty vapor that gets down you really quickly. Yeah, I like the S6. The only problem with the S6 hatless I find is it distorts your vision quite a lot because it's got the like lenses that kind of do that, hasn't it, on the side? But it's a cool mask. Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. There's so many jobs like that, Ghost Jesus, where you don't get any kind of respiratory protection or training for handling quite dodgy stuff. Yeah, there's a reason, right? On the back of lots and lots of chemicals, they say do not mix with other chemicals. Because quite often the risk is that it creates some sort of chemical reaction that poisons you from breathing it in. So yeah, the point is don't do it. Yeah, I definitely agree, Chris. It's a very good mask, isn't it? I mean, other than the distorted vision, the straps could be better, but it's got that really good face seal thing in it, which I wish more masks had because, you know, you get that to be really comfortable to your face. It's lightweight. It's not got like a massively good speech diaphragm kind of exhale valve thing, but you can still sort of hear what somebody's saying with it on. You know, the airflow going into the mask is good enough. I'd go to the woods, I reckon, Iron Man Spartan, because I reckon living on the streets would be a lot more dangerous to getting mugged or like attacked or whatever. You know, at least in the woods, if you know, you might die in either scenario, but at least in the woods you don't have to worry about other people so much. At the moment, it's a really old one with an AMD FX 9590 in and an AMD RX 480 GPU, I think. You know, DDR3 RAM, probably only 16 gig of RAM in there. Probably not a very good clock speed on the RAM either. The one I'm getting is going to be much better, but again, it's when I get it because it's going to take ages, to be honest. Loads, Bradley, I don't even know at this point. Depends what you want from a chip. Used to be that Intel was better quite a while ago, but at the moment, no. AMD's Ryzen 3 series CPUs score much better than Intel's on lots of CPU tasks, in terms of like running, you know, renders and stuff like that. They're cheaper, consume less power, throw out less heat, and at the moment, Intel's had loads of security flaws. So what I think, rather than being fanboys for each of the companies, what we should hope is that Intel actually gets their arse into gear. Intel starts making good chips again. There's actually competition between two chip makers, whereas for ages Intel had a monopoly. So they just sort of shafted everyone on the price of barely making better CPUs year on year. And now AMD's caught up again. AMD's in the lead, and Intel still isn't competing. Um, Now, I'm trying to remember. Scorpion's like the very light tank one, isn't it? Is the Saladin the one that has the autocannon, or is the Saladin just got an MG on the top? Let me look it up. I'm going to probably say the Scorpion off the top of my head. So the Saladin has 32 millimeters of armor. What gun does it have? Ah, it was the Saracen I was thinking of then, but yeah. So, I'd say the Scorpion I prefer because it was the one that replaced the Saladin for a lot of the uses in stuff, and the Scorpion has the tracks on, doesn't it? So you can use it on more terrain, I'd say. Intel isn't better though on single core performance now, 64 system. That's the interesting thing. The Ryzen 9 is actually doing better on a lot of charts for single core performance, so Intel doesn't even have that as an edge anymore. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is why Intel really needs to pull their finger out now and actually try and make a good chip again, rather than going, we've got a monopoly, fuck the consumer, which they've been doing for a minute. Yeah, that's what I'm sort of saying. But yeah, I've had both Intel and AMD CPUs over the year, and at the moment AMD is clearly just the better company if you want to get a CPU. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they should have seen this coming. But this is why I fucking hate it when companies get really greedy and they go, more people are buying our products, so we don't need to make a good product anymore. Yeah, it'll be interesting. The thing I found really weird was where they started saying things like, oh, but Intel CPUs still have a better clock speed. Well, technically my CPU has a better clock speed than a lot of the modern Intel ones, but trying to boast about clock speed when there's not much else good about your CPU isn't very good, because with my 9590, yeah, you can get the clock speed above 5 gigahertz, on the cores, but that's not necessarily a very good thing when it's a space heater. I mean, you can hear how loud the PC is probably on the microphone at the moment. Now, if America wants to sell military gear to its allies or whatever, I don't see why that's a problem. Well, certainly the i9 is... Yeah, that's the thing that was crazy, wasn't it? Because it was at the 9900K or whatever it was, that you needed like a really good CPU cooler to even use that. So on top of the price of the CPU, you needed to buy a really expensive cooler. And what I found crazy was that the cooler that keeps my FX 9590 cool wouldn't keep a 9900K cool. Yeah, I've basically got the same processor as you, Ghost Jesus, but I've got the 9590, which is very similar to the 8150 and 8350. But yeah, it's nice in the winter, not so nice at this time, Because he's a mod, Bradley. Same as Richard Weaponsmith, same as Peach if he's on. I don't know. I think the British Army used to do stuff like that, where soldiers had to buy lots of their own equipment, but I don't think they do now. But I really don't know. Yeah, I said I've not updated my CPU in years because I had an 8150 for years, then I've had this 9590 for ages, and now I'm going to the 3900X. But again, I'm just now, although I've had the order in since July the 8th, I'm just having to wait for the part to finally be available for me, just because of the massive demand on the CPUs at the moment. But what I'm looking forward to is being able to render YouTube videos relatively quickly, because the 9-minute or so video I did on the PDF masks this morning, it took 25 odd minutes to render the first time, and then it crashed at 99%. So I had to restart the render. The second time it rendered it in about 20 odd minutes, and it actually worked. But again, so that's like 45 minutes wasted on a single render for a less than 10-minute 1080p video. I'm definitely looking forward, from the benchmarks I've seen, that the 3900X can probably render a 1080p video that's about 10 minutes long in a couple of minutes. Yeah, because that's the thing. I'm on DDR4 RAM on the system I'm getting soon, because my current system is just DDR3. But again, for the new system, DDR4 is the standard thing, and you could get higher spec DDR4 RAM for not too much. When you're buying a complete PC from scratch, like I was doing the new one, I can quite easily go, well, I'd happily justify an extra £20-30 to get a much better component than this bit. So that's what I was doing. But with this old PC I've got, this is kind of where I just kept cannibalizing parts, and now and again I buy a new component for it, but otherwise I just see if I could get something cheap from somewhere. Don't worry, Patriot Brett, we're just talking about computer components. But yeah, as I said, I'm just getting annoyed because I want my fucking new PC now, and I've paid for it, and I'm still gonna have to wait another month or so. That's cool. See if you find anything interesting in the dump, or is it just to dump stuff there? Because some dumps let you take stuff for free, or if you make a small donation, don't they? Others you have to, others you're not allowed to, or whatever. No, I don't have Kingdom Come. I was going to buy that once I get my new PC, because it goes on sale quite frequently now, doesn't it? For like 50% off, but I'll probably get the version with all the DLC for it. But again, if I get that of my new PC, I'm just not going to have to worry about it running. So that's all I'm going to do, just because it'll be so nice in a bit when I've got a new PC and I can just install a game and it'll work on max settings and I don't even have to think about it. I'm only going to be still playing games at 1080p because I don't really want to spend the money on a 4K monitor and then a 4K, like properly capable GPU. I'd rather have something that can just decimate games at 1080 and just run it on this big TV I've got. Yeah, I'm still on. Was that an accident he turned the internet off, Mike? Or did he do it on purpose? Mike, get off your computer. What gas mask do I want to buy now? I'm going to have to see what interesting ones turn up on eBay. I don't have yet. Yeah, most games run alright on my 480, to be honest, because, again, AMD's done a lot better job now with video game drivers than they used to do. Because that was one of the reasons I went with NVIDIA cards for quite a while, just because I got really pissed off at one of my old Radeon cards, where every time you did an update, it was kind of just blue screening the computer constantly. But what was I going to say? But yeah, it's just saying, because I'm getting a new PC, I just might as well get a brand new GPU. Yeah, I had no problem with War Thunder or CSGO with the 8150 or the 9590. I only really have problems with games like Armour with the really long draw distances and stuff like that. As I said, the main reason I want a better CPU now is just for, rendering videos a lot faster. Yeah, I probably will go off in a few minutes. So you on Twitch at 10 PM then, Mike, playing Skyrim? Because I'll watch that if you're on then. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got 16 gig of RAM in this current PC, but as I said, it's DDR3, and I don't think the clock speed's particularly good. Let me type in DXDiag and have a look. Memory, 16384 megabytes of RAM. Does it say what the clock speed is of the RAM on here? Don't think it does it? I'm sure there's other programs I've got installed that can tell you how much RAM. So, do you mean recently upcoming? So this is the one I filmed today. Let me have a look and tell you what I've got upcoming. Videos. Uploads. YouTube's being slow, so apologies. Oh, I had to appeal monetization on that dust mask one. Because that plasticky dust mask, the one that was good, YouTube thought that was unfriendly for advertisers for some reason. All right, so we are in July, aren't we, at the moment? Review of, I think, the video Wednesday might not interest a lot of people. It's just what I'm currently using for my ulcerative colitis, which is working for me. But that was just more of a personal video I wanted to do. The one on Friday this week is shooting a Daisy Red Rider, sort of Fallout style, with a French M51 gas mask on and some Fallout music playing. There's another Bokken sparring video for the people who enjoy things like that. A video on the Italian Spaziani TR2002 coming up on August the 7th. The Chinese panoramic mask coming up on August the 9th. The homemade dust mask, particle mask, August the 11th. Laying down with body armor and a respirator, the ones you sort of suggested of that, on August the 14th. Then a mixture of sort of lighter videos and other sort of things coming up. But yeah, there should be quite a lot of different things to interest different people. But yeah, it's YouTube, isn't it? Oh no, a respirator designed for workplace use is unfriendly to advertisers. Yeah, very strange, isn't it, Ghost Jesus? But yeah, I don't think 3M would be happy if they find out people can't review their masks soon because they're getting demonetized. Oh, I'm not allowed to talk about this 3M safety mask in my workplace. No, it's actually music from the original Fallout soundtrack. Is it Puddles of Goo, whatever it's called? It's the one that plays in the intro to the original Fallout. And it's also Vats of Goo, isn't it? Yeah, YouTube is far, far too cautious. I think this video of a happy kitten might be violent. We'll have to demonetize it. Well, I've heard people saying that AP survival videos, but I've not seen any evidence of it. So far, you can still buy a lot of that stuff very easily. If they're doing that, it's bullshit because there's nothing in the law for reasons that, you shouldn't be allowed to buy that sort of stuff. But yeah, I've not actually seen much evidence of it so far. But yeah, there is no law saying you're not allowed ballistic or armor or anything like that under UK law, so they can fuck off, really, can't they, if they try and take it away? No, that would offend certain people if they took knives off of children and things like that. You're not allowed your body armor, but you can still have gangs with knives. That's completely fine. Also, some of the gangs have guns, but let's not talk about it because they made the guns illegal, so they can't have the guns if you don't mention it. I've heard people in surplus stores say before that there's been certain things they've been asked not to sell and they just didn't care, and they've sold them anyway. But again, I think a lot of this is just where sometimes like bits of the government, the MOD or whatever, try and flex their muscles a bit because they get upset about, like MOD property getting sold. But if it's surplus at this point, what do they care? But yeah, anyway, I'll be off now because it's been an hour and 18 minutes this stream. Thank you to everybody that's donated, Killstrike and Laserpoint, I think that was this chat. I don't know if anybody else did, so apologies if other people did and I've missed them. But yeah, big thank you to all the donations. As said, with the donations I've been getting, and I'll cash out the Patreon ones again soon. I'll see if I can find another really interesting mask or whatever I've not got. Or maybe even buy some of that body armor Bing was on about, so I'm quite interested in that, to be honest. Right, so thanks everybody. See you. And yeah, goodbye everybody. Good night.